Welcome everyone to Cruising with Kayfabe. I'm Mongo,
Emily.
and today is the 2023 Royal Rumble predictions, and we're live on Facebook and the YouTube. So make sure if you're with us, throw some comments in there. We can pin them up. But we're going to be talking about what we think is going to happen at the 2023 Royal Rumble match. It's tomorrow night. I am super excited. Royal Rumble is my absolute favorite match, favorite time of the year. I think this year will be slightly different because Triple H is supposedly still full in charge. So we'll find out, I guess, exactly what's going to happen.
I'm really curious because he asked me earlier, what surprises do you think are coming out? And I was like, but they have so many people on the roster. It's just a matter of using them.
Yeah, they announced a couple more. I know SmackDown's currently going on right now, but they just announced Brock Lesnar as an entrant, Bobby Lashley. So they're putting their mid carders in, and the rumor is that Charlotte is also going to fight. I can't think of her name right now. Sonya Deville for the title. So that match has changed. Uh, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of people in the Rumble, I think. So before we get to the Rumble itself, I mean, I guess we can kind of go over some of the regular matches that they have, which there's not that many. And it's kind of surprising because usually the Royal Rumble, there's usually two Rumble matches and three or four title matches, but really there's only two title matches, one woman and one men's title. So the very first match that we're going to talk about is Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss. And I know most people right now have picked Bianca overwhelmingly. 57% have chosen Bianca on our poll. I know Emily and I myself chose Bianca as well. Do you want to elaborate on why you chose Bianca?
Um, I could see Alexa taking it, but for what? I mean, it's not that she can't take it. It's that WrestleMania is around the corner and they've been building up Bianca for so long. I just feel like it has to be Bianca.
I agree. I think she should keep it because she already has the record for longest title reign right now for a person of color. So I think it's a really cool thing for her to keep it going, really keep that title run. She won it last WrestleMania after kind of a really crappy year. Let her keep a strong year going. You know, she is the strongest. She is the best. She is the ESC of WWE. I think she will retain. I don't really like what they're doing with Alexa. I feel like they're kind of going backwards into the spooky Alexa stuff. I'm not really a fan of that.
Well, we knew this was coming, though. They've teased it since they teased Bray.
I
So it's
know,
been
but
expected.
it didn't work for her. I mean, unfortunately, she doesn't keep the kayfabe too well online, so that's what makes it harder for me. I think is that um, when she goes on Twitter or she goes on social media, she kind of exposes herself a little bit more versus exposing. I mean, excuse me, not exposing versus kind of keeping the character, keeping the gimmick. And I think that's what's hard with the spooky Alexas. You know, one day she's puking black ooze, the next day she's with Ryan Cabrera and Napa Valley getting wine. Like it takes you out of the realism, I think.
She almost needs like a separate Instagram account just for herself almost.
Yeah, you really don't go all the way down, you know.
Yeah, like her real self, like a real
And I'm not,
Facebook.
yeah, and I'm not like downing, Alexa Bliss. Like I'm not downing people's socialists, but that's the one thing I think as a wrestling fan that's always kind of hindered my gender is the whole when they get too real on their social media and they kind of peek too much behind the curtain because it does take it away. I mean, I know it's the same equivalent of like actors and actresses breaking that fourth wall, as they say, but sometimes when you're in these kind of gimmicks, it's better to kind of blend the reality so you don't know what's real. Chris Masters had a great quote the other day. He's talking about going in a match and that, yeah, there are smart fans out there. There are smart marks who know the business, who know everything, but it's what you do in the ring. It's what you do. It's what you do in the ring that matters. And Hillary just pointed out that, she, to see the storyline through. I agree. I'm not saying I'm poo pooing it right away. I'm more saying that I just wish there's a little bit more blended realism into it because she's such a good worker. But I think I kind of liked more of the twisted bliss. I think I liked more of the twisted bliss aspect of it. To me, it made more sense when she was kind of like that evil, sadistic version of herself versus like the playground, like Fire Fire Funhouse. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Like the beginning stages of what she was doing versus the very end. Because, like, the very end with the Jack in the Box, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, when it gets too
It
out
had
there,
so
it's
much
hard.
potential.
Sadistic. Thank you, Hillary. Yes, sadistic rather than possessed. That's kind of what I like. The twisted bliss where she had the Harley Quinn and she would jump off the turnbuckle and she would do the move. And I remember seeing her wrestle at WrestleMania when Naomi took the title from her, and I was shocked that she won just because she had such a good presence. She had such a good vibe. But I definitely think that it's maybe just not her time right now, not because she's a bad worker, but more that Bianca still needs to retain. I think it's going to be a fantastic match. I just hope they get time because we know lately that's been the controversy based on Raw. So I hope they kind of get some time to showcase because there's only a few matches. There's not really an excuse not to give them at least 10, 15 minutes in this match.
Who knows? Apparently, there wasn't women's wrestling for the last 30 years
I
on
mean,
Raw.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand the direction that goes. Nikki Bella said it best. There's 3 hours of men's content. They couldn't have squeezed in 10 minutes of women in. That's what like I thought we were past that crap. But I just hope it's a good match because I love Bianca. I'm a Bianca mark. I like Alexa. I think she's fantastic. Um, I just hope it's a good match. But Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know how he does the Usher thing. I don't know what to think. Like, what the heck is what is a Mountain Dew pitch black match? And then Hillary says, "You get a little more AW. That's enough." Exactly, Hillary. Going back to the women's at AEW, they try to feature the women and sprinkle them in enough where it's not like they're trying to put them out there and say, "Hey, look, we're equal." No, they actually put them out there and say their storylines matter. Like when Britt Baker just came out on Dynamite and got a huge pop just going like this. That's all you need. You just feature them, showcase them. They can work. And there's so many talented women's rosters out there. Impact WB has so many hidden gems. They're just sitting catering. Where's Asuka been? Again, Asuka disappears more than Big Show does.
I mean, I just don't understand what's going on with this Rumble because usually they draw the numbers, and they have like a secret little like, oh, ha ha ha, the whole time.
They haven't really done that in years, though.
But they need to do something because we literally have no idea who's in either Rumble, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
been
how
7
many
women.
mysteries are there? Tell us how many mysteries there are.
We don't know because it's only as of right now been 7 women announced and about maybe 20 men. But that's what their MO has been the last probably 10 years. They haven't really done the whole where they draw the number. That was more when they just had the men trouble and they did it throughout the pay-per-view. I thought that was too carny anyway. I just wish they would just say there's 26 announced and there's 4 surprise. They haven't even announced that.
They need to do that. Like, at least give a little bit with that because you get your hopes
19
up,
19 out of 30 for men. So you got about 11 surprises. So, but that's the other issue is after 3 more women declare tonight, Bailey and Damage Control, you're only looking at 10. So that when we get to the Rumble, we'll have kind of see who we think's going to fill those spots because that's what the Rumble is. But I still don't know how to pitch black matches. I've seen so much on Twitter from it's going to be like a neon crazy, like it's going to be dark with neon lights and spooky CGI to it'll just be the ring apron that says Mountain Dew and the lights will go bring all the characters to Bray saying he's not the. Honestly, I think it's dumb. I'm going to go on my little rant here. Bray Wyatt hasn't wrestled in 112 days since he's debuted, except for a live match. All he's done is talk. The storyline has already kind of played its course. I'm not really invested in the storyline. LA Knight's a fantastic worker, but your first match back is going to be some weird gimmick match that you know nothing about. You're not selling this match for me. I mean, clearly Bray's going to go over. Everyone on the survey, you, me, and literally 100% of people all voted for Bray. But what does this do for LA Knight? What does this do for Bray?
I can see if it somehow is a good cinematic match.
It won't be.
I mean, I don't see how it could be, but we're going to say if they can give us a great match, who knows where this could take us? Like,
nowhere. He's going to fight Uncle Howdy at WrestleMania.
That's true, but that's what this is another setup for. Yeah, they're giving us a match, but it's not really a match. It's just another setup. Look at his match with John Cena at Mania. We love Bray. We love everything he does. What the fuck is this?
it's not so much that I don't love Bray or I don't like Bray. I just shut up and wrestle. That's the 112 days since he's re-debuted, and he's had one house show match against Jinder. And I agree, Hillary. Give us the John Cena Bray cinematic match again. Yes, that's worked great. Or even the match he did with Braun Strowman, where it was like in a swamp. Like that was a decent match too that they did. Or Randy Orton in the House of Horrors match. He can have fun matches. The problem is every promo he's cut every week has been the same friggin' promo.
Yeah, I
Every
see it more
week.
being more acting, which is why it's LA Knight versus more wrestling.
But it doesn't make sense because LA Knight's more of a wrestler than a gimmick, and Bray Wyatt's more of a gimmick than a wrestler. So it's two different styles that are going against each other that aren't quite going to mesh. It's going to kill any momentum LA Knight had. It already started off.
That's a good point. Maybe there's a potential injury we don't know about.
I don't know. I just think they don't know what they're doing with Bray. This, I hate to say it, but this just goes to show that his last run, maybe it wasn't all Vince. Maybe some of the ideas that flopped were his, because it seems like he's so creative and he's so passionate, but he can't execute it. Like I'm not trying to like crap on him, but it seems like he has all these great ideas and all these visions. Like when he first came back, the Wyatt Six, everyone in the crowd, all his different personas, it was cool. But then we heard nothing about the other personas. We just started getting teased by Uncle Howdy for like
every year they're going to release a new character.
Then they randomly had the Firefly Funhouse again a couple weeks ago, but he said the Fiend is dead. So
I don't want to shit on him completely though. I still do like him at the end of the
day. I don't care for this persona gimmick.
Yeah, but you enjoy his wrestling.
When he wrestles, that's the thing. I'm losing interest in him because he's not wrestling. I know he hurt his finger in the Madison Square Garden match, but I mean, that was a
finger.
But I mean, it's just you can't have him wrestle at least once on SmackDown, even against a jobber, just to show he's dominant. Because right now you're trying to say that he's this big, spooky, mysterious character that's afraid of Uncle Howdy, who you don't even know who it is. That you don't even know. I mean, we know it's Bo Dallas, but we don't know anything about it. Is he good? Is he evil? Why is he on Bray? Why is like are these split personalities? Is this his cult? Like, I know it's long-term storytelling, but he's not doing it in a way where it's captivating. It's to me, it's a great idea. It's just being strung out too much. It started with a QR code. It's just there hasn't been enough payoff for the amount they stretched it out. It's like they're almost stretching it too thin. So I think they really need to deliver at the Royal Rumble, or else people are going to tune out. I mean, a lot of people are already turning on Bray in the storyline because nothing's happened. And as long as this match is good, which I know Ellen Knight's a good worker, I think it should be fine. But I think after, Bray needs to wrestle at least one televised event and one pay-per-view instead of waiting every other pay-per-view, third pay-per-view.
He's turning into Brock Lesnar is what you're saying.
Turning to Roman without the title.
True. I wonder if they do that because of all the injuries that they had that year, and everybody's like, no, we're not doing injuries again. You just don't wrestle anymore.
No, it's just been WWE's kind of cop out for a while. They found the heel formula because it's like 1980s wrestling where the heel would have the title, kind of like MJF. The heel would have the title, and the person would have to be worthy to face him. So they would go through trials and tribulations, and the heel would only wrestle when he had to, and he was forced to wrestle. So it's got a lot of old school elements, and it's not like it's a bad thing, but he just needs to realize that he's a full-time worker. He should at least one SmackDown, one pay-per-view. I'm not saying wrestle 300 days a year, but I mean, when Austin Theory is wrestling on Raw and SmackDown, and Gunther is wrestling on Raw on SmackDown, and
why is there a brand split then?
Yeah, and that perfect Hillary said WWE's execution isn't there, and that's what it is I think Triple H is just very overwhelmed at this point, where he's trying to just get all these storylines to make sense. And I know you're never going to make every fan happy, but there has to be some cohesiveness to the stories, and that's what's going to draw you in. I'm still excited for the Royal Rumble. Don't think that I'm poo-pooing on this whole card. I mean, the Royal Rumble is what we're all going to look for, but I'm also super excited for this next match, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, because Sami Zayn's kind of injected new blood into the bloodline, no pun intended. I think with the trial they just had on Monday, I think Kevin Owens still signed Sami Zayn, named that title, that contract somehow. There's something with that. There's something that's going to pay off because they've been teasing this dissension for a long time. Jay, who was against Sammy, is now with Sammy. Roman and Paul Heyman aren't really trusting him. So is is he going to mess up and cost Roman a title? Because they also didn't say the undisputed; they said the Universal title in the last promo tonight and yesterday. So is somehow Sammy going to cost him one of the titles? Because on the poster for Elimination Chamber is Sami Zayn upside down.
Or do they save this for Mania?
I mean, I think that they could eventually to Mania, but what do you do with Sammy? I think the turn's going to happen at the Rumble. I think so too, Hillary. I think it's going to happen at the Rumble because this is the road to Mania. This is what's going to get us to that next step. Or is it going to be kind of one of those seeds planting? Like, is it going to be another doubt in Roman's mind? Because that's kind of the only way you can weaken Roman right now is to put doubt in his mind.
True.
He's been kind of booked into a corner as Superman. I mean, every single match he's had. So everyone pretty much picked Roman. I think I'm the only one who picked Kevin Owens. And I only picked Kevin Owens because there's two ways I can see it happening. I mean, realistically, I think it's Roman, but my heart says Kevin because I can see Sammy trying to prove himself to Roman and accidentally costing it and that planting those seeds of doubt. Or I can see him being conflicted and walking away and let Roman get beat. So that's kind of how I see it playing out. But then again, as WWE, they could just have Super Roman come in, destroy everyone, and leave again.
Yeah, I want I want the title split. Don't get me wrong. I just never feel like it's the right time.
See, Jamal, I'm gonna say I love that they've got Roman over with this heel gimmick, but the same matches it kill the endings. It's a Jeff Jarrett special. That's what's hard for me is it's always Gaga at the end or so much interference. If he went one more clean, I think I'd like him more. But I'm just kind of over him holding both belts hostage. So that's why I think he only drops one of them. And I think it's what leads up to him going against the Royal Rumble winner. But I don't think he loses both belts this year. I think he loses one and continues that long reign because they want him to beat Bruno's reign.
So, which title would he be dropping?
The Universal, it sounds like, because they keep hitting Universal. So I think he'll keep the WWE title on SmackDown.
Okay.
So I think Kevin will take the Universal to Raw because Raw only has the U.S. champion, and that's not really being built that well. SmackDown's got the Intercontinental title, and Gunther has rebuilt that title. So again, in WrestleMania is also reset season, so we could be completely off the mark, and they could just stay with the same, stay with what works, and do another draft. But I mean, I don't. I looked at the thing. Only one person picked Kevin Owens in that list out of the 15 people that submitted it, and it was me. So I'm the only one who's a believer in KO. I'll acknowledge KO, Jamal. But then we have the women's Royal Rumble match. Again, there's only been, let me just double check again. Oh, sorry, 11 entrants have been announced. Liv Morgan, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, Emma, Bailey, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Lacey Evans, who just returned tonight on SmackDown, who apparently went to boot camp and has her military gimmick again using Sergeant Slaughter's Cobra Clutch. I don't know if she's a heel or face. She said she's going to win the Rumble, but I mean, 4 of them were announced tonight on SmackDown. So that leaves 19 open spots, which I think they're going to fill with NXT talent. I think they're going to fill with returning divas, returning legends. I think some people are coming back. So I think the women's Rumble is going to have the most returning and most surprise entrants.
I'm excited to see kind of who they bring out from NXT because the women's division in NXT is actually really good. And it's disappointing that they don't get showcased more. Mandy unfortunately was bringing eyes to the product, and now they're doing other things, and I'm excited to see where this is going. And actually, Jamal, yeah, Lacey is definitely a heel. She looked good tonight. I didn't get to watch SmackDown. I was in a heels meeting. I'm excited that she's back. I did not like her at first. I'm excited to see where this could go.
Yeah, I think that she's also teasing that she doesn't care about Sergeant Slaughter, and Sergeant Slaughter has been kind of playing into the fact of oh well, you can't use the Cobra Clutch without me, blah 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 blah, and that's my move. And she's been using it, and she talks about how she's going to put a bicep on someone's throat. So Jamal definitely hit the nail on the head. Um, Hillary says, I keep hearing that call it from NXT, the main roster, is the kiss of death. For some people, I don't understand it. Hillary, that's because when Vince McMahon was in charge, they had over 200 NXT call-ups, and only 15 of them went on to success. So I think just statistically, that's why they called it the kiss of death, because good old Vince didn't know how to book anyone who was popular in NXT or didn't
Look at
understand the
Aleister
gimmicks.
Black, Ricochet.
We could do a whole podcast just on the
and
call-ups.
Just those two alone, they got called up at the same time, and
Look
it
at Keith
took
Lee.
Aleister leaving.
Killer Cross. But this one, I can see people coming up. I can see.
Ooh, I bet Cross is in the Rumble.
Oh,
is he announced?
Yeah, well, that's the mention. We'll get. But
I just thought of it.
I think Scarlett's going to be in this one because she hasn't really got a chance to wrestle yet.
I forgot they brought her too. That's sad.
I agree with Jamal on this one. Vince can fuck off. I definitely think there's going to be a lot of surprises in this one too. I think that we're going to see both members of Toxic Attraction show up in this Rumble. I think we get Cora Jade in this Rumble. I think we get a couple of returning legends. So I wrote down a couple legends that you guys have all said and Emily has said as well. Some of the female ones I personally think, I'm going to save a couple because I have some surprises. I think Nia Jax makes a return because she's been kind of teasing it.
And she's part of the bloodline technically.
I think Beth Phoenix comes back because she hasn't been seen for a little while. I see Michelle McCool coming back, and Emily and I both agree Melina. She also has Victoria, so that will be a good one to come. But there's one person that I see coming back that I don't think a lot of people coming back. And if I can get the video, we'll get that to play in just. So who you guys think real quick while we're. And you guys have any surprises for the women's division or NXT? Billie Kay, that is a good one. I think you put that on our list, Jamal. Billie Kay is a good one. We haven't heard from her in a while. So I think Billie Kay would go. That'd be iconic if she came back. I think that she would get a good pop too, and I think that eyes would be upon her, and I think she could actually get the right type of look if she came back. So Jamal was saying Billie Kay.
Sorry, our cat was knocking at the door, and it was annoying me. Sorry, guys.
So, yeah, Billie Kay would be a good one. I have a good one, too. I think I have a couple that people aren't thinking of. The first... I mean, I think Naomi is going to first once because I think it's the chance. I think this is the great way she can come back. I mean, it's not Vince in charge anymore. What a great way for her to come back. Molly Holly, she's a good one. She came back recently. That's a good one, Hillary. I also think there's another one that not a lot of people aren't really putting credence into. We got Lana. I think she'd be another good one that people aren't really seeing. And then the one that Emily and I both agree on, the rumors that she's been signed. I think Chelsea motherfucking Green comes back tomorrow night as well. So I know, yeah. So Jamal agrees, Chelsea. But like I said, those are kind of my off the wall. So for all the Rumbles, I have a couple different off the wall predictions. So Lana and Naomi are kind of my out there, but I think Chelsea's my safe bet.
So I want Chelsea. Don't get me wrong. I love Chelsea. It's so happy for her. Just so sad because I really wanted her with Britt Baker and I wanted to see some dream matches and
she said she didn't want to go to AEW.
I know, and that's what's sad is at least somewhere, somehow, we still need to get the two of them back in a ring together. I guess I'll keep watching All In over and over again. watch her flip in front of John Mayer's face.
I do like there was a lot of good surprises too. We've had, and as you guys have said, both Hillary and Jamal have said, we also have Tori Wilson. Someone suggested that'd be a good one. Trish Stratus, Medusa, which I mean she's a little older, but I mean she get that
She was
Legends
just
pop.
there, wasn't she?
And I had to write Awesome Kong. This must be some of Kenny's. And then he put Jerry Lawler's ex-wife, so I'm assuming he means the cat, Miss Kitty. That's the only one I can think of that he means. So those are some of the surprises there. But the overall winner, most people said Bailey at 44%. I don't think Bailey. I know you chose Bailey. I don't think Bailey's. I think Rhea's taking it with Liv Morgan as runner-up.
I could see that. They just have damage control. Hopefully, what they can do is they can bring in Toxic Attraction and Damage Control, and they can have kind of like a little feud going on. And I think that would be really, really sick because I love that.
I think Stacy Keibler could
Bailey
be a
could take it.
I think Stacy Keibler could be a possibility. She hasn't really made an appearance in a while, and Rumble's something you can come in and do a quick little move. And I loved me Stacy Keibler, Jamal, so I agree. And then look, we end on this kid, might as well say, hey, again, anything can happen. And, you know, I think they'd be more willing to work with Triple H. In this case, I mean, they just had Raw 30 Legends. Like, what better way to bring some more legends that haven't been featured on TV in a while? And I think that's my favorite part of the Rumbles is who's going to come back, who gets that great pop, that return, the one-off, the legend pop, who gets the Warlord treatment, Santino treatment, gets eliminated in 1 second. I wasn't ready.
Yeah, like who's going to dominate it?
Yeah, and we were talking on one of our episodes, like there's a lot of cliches in who's going to fit who's going to get attacked and lose their spot. Who's going to, like Emily said, who's going to dominate the Rumble and eliminate a bunch of people? Which tag team's going to turn on each other? Which team is going to work together? Which alliances are going to start? Which feuds are going to start? So that's where I think the Rumble can really, like Hillary said, anything can happen because you have so much potential to set up WrestleMania. You have so much potential to set up storylines. Or you could just have a bunch of nobodies come in. But I definitely think the Women's Rumble will have the most surprises, most shock factor. I could even see Liv Morgan winning. I don't think she will, but I could see her winning because they've been setting that up too. Liv Morgan's talked about how she only lasted 8 seconds in the last Rumble, that she's time to redeem herself.
She wants to come out as number 1 or 2.
And
actually, no, she said 1.
Which could be the Rey Mysterio storyline from 2006 when he came in at number 1 and he only lasted, I don't know, the whole Rumble in one. So, I mean, that could be. But I can see Rhea doing it just because she was just runner-up. And that's usually kind of what they do. And when someone's really close or they're a runner-up, they usually kind of get the nod.
And they've been pushing it. I watched a lot of stuff last night while I was working. YouTube stuff, fell down a rabbit hole. And the biggest thing that I was continuously hearing was that the number 1 spot has, you know, never really won this, that, the other thing. Like, number 1 is one of the worst numbers, blah, blah, blah. And then the other side of it, I was also hearing the whole 70-something% from number 20 to 30. And I think they're pushing. One of them is going to do that, and the other one's going to, the number 1 person is going to win. That's just the way they're setting it up. And we've noticed that commentary gives a lot away.
And Jeff, I agree. I think Liv will have a good showing even if she doesn't win. I think that's why I think she's going to be runner-up or in the final 4 because they kind of botched her title run. They need to do something with her. And you were talking about number 1. I mean, they've had people win from number 1, number 2, number 3. Really, the death hole is like 5 to 19 is kind of like that. Not a lot of winners win. It's pretty much 20 to 30 is the money numbers. And then 1 and 2 are the Shawn Michaels, or I'm sorry to say his name on here, but the Chris Benoit or the Rey Mysterio, the people who, the Iron Man, the Iron Woman, Bianca Belair, number 3. It's when they want to build someone up. So if they do it with Liv, she's going to have to be the Iron Woman. I think that'd be a little too predictable, but it would be a good story too. So I think with the Women's Rumble, they kind of have a good balance.
Is Ronda announced for this?
No, Ronda pulled out of the Rumble. Thank God.
Ronda we don't Rousey. Have to see her go over the rope awkward?
I don't have to see her at all. I don't have to see Ronda Rousey's face, thank God. So I mean, you if you think about it, you have Bailey, Liv, Rhea. You have so many people that could win the Rumble. I mean, I could see
Shayna, not
Emma.
that I see her winning, but
I could see Shayna winning. I could see Raquel Rodriguez winning. I could see I could see an Emma winning. You know, you can see most of these women winning, and that's what's great about the women's Rumble is there's a lot of stars that are established, and there's a lot of stars that can be established, and that's what a Rumble should be.
do you guys think with the anniversary of Houseky that we're going to get Emma and Chelsea Green in
Oh,
a feud?
that's
They better not do
that's an
this.
awkward.
I don't want to see this, okay, guys?
Why are you putting that in the universe?
Because that's what WWE is infamous for.
I mean, yeah, but
Look at the
that's a
Lita stuff. We've talked about that previously. I don't want to see it, but doing something, especially if Cardona does eventually come back.
thanks, Heather. I want to put that out. Yeah, no, we. I don't want to manifest that either. Yeah, no, I agree. It's a happy place. I don't need more love triangles, and that's a Vince shtick, you know.
But we don't know if he's back.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. The only thing I want to think about is I want to know who's gonna. Like I said, who's gonna get the loudest pop? Do you guys think of the women's rumble? I mean, besides Chelsea Green in their return pop or a legend, I honestly think that Liv's gonna get a good pop in Texas, or you know, a Shayna. Like I think someone unexpected is gonna get a pop because Texas is such a rowdy crowd. Look at AEW Dynamite a few weeks back, how loud that crowd was. And they're in San Antonio. They're in the heart of Texas right now. They're in Shawn Michaels country too. So who's going to do the Shawn Michaels skin the cat too? Like who's going to do the over the rope? You know someone's going to do. Yeah, you know someone's going to do the Shawn Michaels. They're in Shawn Michaels' hometown. They're selling his replica hat and replica belt. Like they're setting this up. I mean, does Shawn Michaels make an appearance like on TV? I don't think in the Rumble, but I think he's got to be at least on TV. He was
maybe
just on
he's
Raw,
helping.
but,
Like maybe he'll come out with an NXT guy.
or well, he's
Carmelo Hayes.
You're spoiling my thunder for later. Not WCW Thunder, but regular Thunder. Well, since you were already talking about that, let's go to the men's Rumble. So, do you guys have any other suggestions who you think we win? Right now, the consensus has been Bailey. Emily chose Bailey, as well as the majority of the people on the poll chose Bailey, and I chose Rhea. I stand by myself, I guess, with that, because I guess I chose Mommy. Well, that's what Dom calls her. I'm just saying, don't give me a look. That's what he calls her. But the men's Rumble, they only have 19 out of the 30, so we have 11 surprise entrants. And again, I think the surprise entrants will be a mixture of NXT legends and surprise returns. But you have announced, and that's actually why I picked her. Rhea has a history with Charlotte and Bianca, exactly, and she also has that loss to Charlotte that she needs to account for when she lost the NXT title. And Haley, we'll get to your comment because I have a cool little thing for you on that one. But I think so for the men's Rumble, you already have Mr. Royal Rumble himself, Kofi Kingston. So I hope we get a Kofi spot. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. Say I'm not the only because they're mommy. So we have Santos Escobar, we have Ricochet, we have Austin Theory, we have Seth Franklin Rollins, we have Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Gunther, returning Cody Rhodes doing the whole his Triple H impression from 2002. We have Omos a wrestler, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, Karrion Kross, Dominic Mysterio, Xavier Woods, The Miz, and Brock Lesnar, who just announced himself tonight. Funny thing about Dominic, before we go too far, I actually think this is how Rhea gets in the men's Rumble. I think Dominic gets ready to get eliminated. And I think she comes out and saves him, does the whole like catches him, cradles him kind of thing, because he's been kind of showing that comedy.
Or does she take Ray's spot?
That's the thing. Maybe that's where we see someone taken out. But
someone's definitely getting taken out tonight.
Everyone's getting taken out the Rumble. Everyone's getting taken out the Rumble. There's so many potential for it. It's such a Rumble cliche. But I think, we have a good chance of some call-ups, too. Everyone thinks some of the surprises and call-ups. So some of the call-ups that I thought were Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, and Waller. I think those would be great call-ups from NXT to kind of showcase the future. Then you obviously have Cody returning, and then Jamal says he's nervous to crowd me turn him because Sammy's stock's running. Yes, I think he might get the blue Batista treatment. When Batista came back from filming Guardians of the Galaxy and he was winning the Rumble over Daniel Bryan and the crowd turned on him and turned him full heel, I could see that moment.
And we all know how Cody feels about when that happens.
So that is true. And then we have some of what we had on the poll for some of the mystery guests were John Cena, which is fair because, he's Austin Theory teased it tonight too. He said the champ is here. I could see John Cena coming out, costing Austin Theory his moment and going to WrestleMania and facing Austin Theory because they've been teasing that for a good year. Someone said Batista. Again, they're in Hollywood. I could see that happening. That's a solid choice. I know you and a couple other people said Randy Orton. I'm still a little skeptical where he has back injury in May.
It's more just, I feel like everyone's just hopeful Randy will come back because it's like, we're not ready to see the Viper go. Like, he's been a part of wrestling since I've been a kid watching it. Him, Ray, and John Cena are the three that I can think of off the top of my head that I first saw wrestling.
If he comes back, I want Matt Riddle to come back. I want RK Bro reunion in the Rumble, but then I want that cliche Randy throws Matt Riddle out and it sets up a WrestleMania match between those two. That would be the best way to bring back Randy Orton is have Matt Riddle come back too. And he's like, bro! And they embrace and they hug and they eliminate cut people, but then he's the Viper. He gives him an RKO and he throws him out and he just points to the WrestleMania sign like everyone for himself. And then eventually he gets eliminated and they have that feud and they go to WrestleMania. Because I think that's how he passes the torch to Riddle, how he can get his WrestleMania moment. Randy Orton deserves his flowers. So if he comes back, that's the way I'd like to see him come back. Someone said The Rock is, and I said The Rock as well. I think they're swerving us. I know they keep saying The Rock's not coming. The poster has freaking electrifying graphics on it. They keep mentioning little tidbits. They're showing little graphics, but he's saying he's not in shape. So I have a question for everyone. Y'all think Dwayne Johnson's not in shape or ring shape for wrestling? Because that's the biggest load of BS I've ever heard.
I mean, doesn't he train daily? Regardless of if it's wrestling, it's training.
Just following his Instagram, I can't think. The Rock is in great shape. I feel like that's an excuse. I think that it's just a swerve. And yes, if I agree, that's the way I'd love to see Randy go out and is Randy coming back if he's healthy enough. But I think The Rock is coming back. I think that everyone's just expecting it, so they're trying to throw people off the scent. It's kind of like how in the CM Punk situation, there was rumors, oh, he is coming. And you kind of just had to wait and see if it happened. But this one is more, they're putting out the media, but they put out the worst lie. Like, he's not in ring shape. That's like saying I'm not going to enjoy myself at the buffet on the cruise. Like, that just doesn't make sense.
Fuck yeah, I am.
I'm a larger American. I'm a fluffy American. I'm going to eat me some pizza on that cruise. And The Rock is definitely in shape.
Pizza. I just want those waffles with the bananas.
And Jeff says, The Rock is a physical specimen. He doesn't have the body type to take all the bumps anymore. See, and I definitely agree with that. I don't think he can take the bumps, but
one bump, that's all it takes.
I was gonna say he's got that legend bump car where everyone's gonna bump for him. I mean, even the Cena match he had, I think Cena took most of those bumps. And Hillary says, especially with Black Adam being a deadish. I enjoyed Black Adam. I don't know. I don't get the hate on. I think that it's just because it was a DC flop, but I really, I guess it's just wishful thinking. I want to see Roman versus The Rock. I want to see that tribal chief bloodline storyline. I want to see it reach its apex. I want to see it reach its crest because I'm not going to lie. Last summer, I was sick of the bloodline storyline. I was sick of everything. The Sammy drama and the potential acknowledgement ceremony they had, that was getting me excited about it. And then The Rock coming back, the rumors were full force because of Hollywood, his Hall of Fame. It's like, let's go. And they're like, oh, he's not coming. You're like, exactly. I'm home to W Rock. We love you here, that kind of thing. Exactly. Like, I just want one more appearance from The Rock. I know we had it with him, Harper, and Rowan. We had that impromptu 30-second match where he gave them both a rock bottom, but that's not enough for me for The Rock because he's never really had that full-on retirement tour. He's kind of just had those sporadic part-time appearances, and I'm still salty that he went and did the Scorpion King and kind of never looked back. I'm glad he got his Hollywood moment, but that man promised us that he was going to still have wrestling in top of his list, and We went to like number 85th on his list. I mean, come on, Game Plan got more time than WWE did. That movie's terrible.
So I like it. So I can't think of a movie with him in it that I don't really care for.
Game Plan. I just said
Um,
it.
so what I'm thinking with him is like more people almost know as him as Dwayne The Rock Johnson or Dwayne Johnson. How many not like 30 up know him as The Rock?
I'm still mad he wasn't on that '90s show too to reprise his role as Rocky Johnson. Fun fact: he had a cameo with Ken Shamrock and a couple of the wrestlers in that '70s show when Eric and Red go to a wrestling match. He played his dad.
Oh,
Um, and then a couple other ones that people are saying. This one's my friend Kenny, so if these ones are clearly not 100% true. Dolph HBK coming out, but it's actually Dolph Scooby Doo style is what he wrote in the comments. He does not like Dolph, so I can see why he wrote that. Spike Dudley, Maven, and Tank Abbott. Tank Abbott's 67 years old, Kenny. So I don't think Tank Abbott's going to be getting down to the ring. He wasn't quite in good shape in WCW. But I have a couple surprises that
same Jamal.
exactly. He's always going to be The Rock. I don't know who Dwayne is. He's The Rock. Always will be. And then Jeff said he needs to have that final moment. One of my favorites. See, everyone, I love it. You guys are on the same page with us. That's how we feel too. But my first surprise, I think, is coming in. I don't think anyone's seeing coming.
In 1986, the Kingdom of East Anglia saw the birth of their greatest son, an Anglo-Saxon warrior destined to be a champion for the ages and a national treasure for all time.
I think the first surprise has got to be Nick Aldis because nobody's seen that coming. I mean, I think he's been a free agent with Mickie James in the Rumble last year. Him just getting to wrestle Ricky the Dragon Steamboat down in Raleigh, leaving NWA. Triple H loves NWA. One of his trainers was Triple H, his best friend. He worked with Trevor Murdoch, who Triple H is really close with. I can see Nick Aldis coming back. I don't see a lot of people saying Nick Aldis, so I think he's one of my surprise ones. Yes, and that is right, Jamal. He will be on the cruise list next week. So I'm not saying it's a given, but two of my surprises are on the cruise, Jamal. Just a spoiler alert.
Yeah, I think like a one-off is totally good. I think that way they can still go on and do whatever else they're scheduled to do because a lot of people have dates scheduled and we know that, from following them on Instagram and stuff, they promote themselves.
And then Jeff says, that would be awesome. He was a huge part of NWA starting up again. He's a good worker. We saw him in NWA 4. Those are great shows. No, I agree. I love Nick Aldis. You can ask Emily. I popped like a little kid when we were in Raleigh and they announced Jay Lethal's mystery partner is Nick Aldis. I jumped out of my chair and Emily kind of laughed at me because I was so excited to see Nick Aldis wrestle live because I hadn't seen him live. And he's got the old school style. He reminds me like an FTR style. He's got that old school style, but he can go with the younger generation. He's my age. He's only 36 years old, so it's not like he's the prime of his career, just like Cody is.
I just want to point out that I love that we're able to look at a wrestler and be like, wow, yeah, they've changed the business, and they're still young. I love the fact that there are people like in their 40s and 30s that have truly changed the business. Like we've talked about before in an episode, Brian Myers, his training and who he's brought up that's now wrestling. That list goes on and on. It's almost as long as Jericho's.
You just made the list. I can't really do it. My throat hurts, but no, yeah. And then I have another surprise that I think everyone says this, but this will be another one-off appearance, I think. If I can find where I put it. Sorry, a little glitchy here.
Always ready!
I can see Matt Cardona. Even if it's a one-off, I can see Matt Cardona coming back. I can see him also not come back because he has a lot of appearances. But he's been poking those fires on Instagram and Twitter. His bendies are on sale right now. The promo code is Rumble. Brian Myers tweeted out something about "Miss You, Matt." The former Zack Ryder. Yes, he just trademarked Zack Ryder too. He trademarked Hosky. He trademarked Woo Woo Woo. You know it. So I think it can happen. I don't think he's going to sign long term because he's still got an NWA match against Tyrus for the title coming up. He has a contract signing next week on Tuesday. He's going to be on the cruise with us. He has a GCW. So I could see it as his wife's there. He wants that Rebel pop. He's going to come back, and maybe he finishes out some of these dates, and then he comes back on his terms.
I was thinking he should come back as both, but
what, Matt Ryder?
No, I'm saying he
Zach
comes
Cardona?
out as Zack Ryder, and then later he's evolved into Matt Cardona.
Oh, he's not going to do the three faces full. He would.
I know he wouldn't, but he was also Deathmatch King, baby, so he could do three.
The only way he would do three is he would have to really go old school and get a wig and be an edgehead. Then he would have to do Zack Ryder and then Matt Cardona, but he would have to be Brett. He would have to be his old school gimmick. I can't remember his last name. It was Brett something. But he would have to do those three. I don't see him doing that.
I forgot about the edgehead thing, but they've been talking about that lately too. Like, Matt's so good at teasing everybody with this shit.
You mean this?
Chelsea says, Matt, can you come to bed? No, I'd rather play with my figures instead. She said, can we be romantic and do things we enjoy? No, me and Brian Myers spent our savings on toys.
Jamal, who do you think
now I think my girl is gonna walk out the door. I'm only 37, but I look like 54. And Matt Cardona, you could be the man, but there's just one problem you should understand. You're the king of the indies, and now you're rich, but to me, you will always be Edge's bitch. You and Brian Myers, you act like kids, but to me, you will always be Edge's bitch. You're the king of the indies, and now you're rich, but to me...
I love it. In fact, that was one of the funniest segments. Yeah, Jamal, yes, walking down the cruise singing Edge's bitch. I think that's going to be absolutely hilarious. I don't know who he's going to come back as. I think it's got to be Matt Cardona because he said he doesn't want to come back as Zack Ryder.
But he just trademarked everything. Is that so they can't do it?
No, it's for merch. It says headbands on the merch. He trademarked. He makes bendies and action figures. He wants to make a Zack Ryder figure.
Oh,
and he can sign Zack Ryder. So that's I think what it is.
Seriously, why is like Matt Cardona's just all of us if we had the physique to actually wrestle? And like, seriously, like the collector and everything else about him, he's just one of us. I think it's amazing.
And then I have one more surprise. I know Hillary asked about this earlier. But the last surprise I think. Jay White, baby. His contract's supposedly up with New Japan. He's been teasing that dream match with Seth Rollins for a long time. Leader of the Bullet Club versus essentially the leader of the Shield. I think that'd be fantastic. So I mean that's who I think is coming back. I think that's some of the surprises. And then Jeff says that would be a huge one. Nervous on the reaction he get WWE. I think he would get probably a lukewarm reaction, but then people realize who he was. Jamal says, I would be shocked if Jay shows up, especially since he already has relations. That's the only other thing that's coming is because he has that working relationship with AEW, but WWE's been throwing a lot of money around. They also want to take the other member of God, the tag team, Hukuleo. So it seems like Triple H really wants to scoop some of these talents up. So I can see it happening if they throw enough money. And, he's been teasing that feud with Seth Rollins, and he wants that dream match. Yeah, he had a great run in Impact when he showed up and looked at Kenny Omega after he beat Sami Callihan for the title. I marked the hell out, and then he showed up with Adam Cole randomly. I love Jay White. I think as long as they treat him right, I think it'll be great. So I mean, those are some of the like random surprises. Again, like I said, I have the surprises I think could happen and the surprises I don't. So I think Nick Aldis is kind of like the one I really think is going to happen. The other two are potentials. But then I also have some legends. I think, I think the Hurricane comes back. I think Hurricane gets this little, he always gets that stand back. There's a hurricane coming through. Just that one pop, come
You
out.
and Kenny popped so hard when he came out in that Rumble we watched. And I was just like, I
Because you
don't get
understand
it.
the Hurricane. It's
like,
great.
I know he's funny, but I was like, I don't get it.
You just
can hate me.
No, he's just one of those wrestlers you had to watch live to appreciate the Hurricane. Because the whole gimmick started as a joke where The Rock made fun of him going, look at you with your stupid little tattoo. You think you're some sort of superhero. And then the next week, he's literally wearing a mask and thinks he's a superhero. And Jamal, I agree. WWE needs to stop digging around and open the real Forbidden Door. Absolutely. I was just telling Emily the other night, if they could somehow find a way to talent share, like, hey, you guys want Chris Jericho for the Rumble? Good. Hey, can you send over Seth Rollins? Even if it's just one nights only, swapping talent. Like, I think it'd be the best for fans. You'll get so much eyes on both products. I don't get it. It's not like it's, some sort of like confidentiality thing. It's not like it's Walmart and Target. It just doesn't make sense.
But here's my thing is we're saying, hey, WWE, do this. AEW has a Forbidden Door, and the Rumbles, they could do Royales there. That would be insane because AEW has that Forbidden Door. And I know, like, we want to see the WWE people in there too. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that we still can get the mystery Royale of this, like, oh my gosh, they're on the indies or they're on smaller shows or Impact and stuff like that. It would be really cool. Sorry.
But they don't really do the Royals. They
need to. That's what I'm saying. This has so much potential.
Yeah,
everyone's excited and wants it. And AEW could deliver it.
I don't want a Royal Rumble for AEW.
Not a Royal Rumble, a Royale for Forbidden Door.
The only way I'd want a Royale for Forbidden Door is if it's for a shot at the New Japan title and you mix in both AEW and New Japan guys, so you don't know who's going to go fight.
That's what I'm saying. It's a Forbidden Door.
Maybe
like literally anybody.
As long as Forbidden
you
Door
don't
2,
listen.
I do listen. As long as Forbidden Door 2 takes place overseas, so we can get Will Ospreay versus Kenny 2, run that shit back, I'm happy.
You mean Zodiac Zack?
Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe he's in the Rumble. I doubt it, but you never know.
If The Rock's there, he might have some pull at that.
I mean, you think Johnny Drip Drip's come back too, right, John Morrison?
I do. I could see Morrison coming back because he's Johnny Wrestling. He's everywhere. He's been bumping around, doing everything everywhere, including in the lucha scene, and I could see him coming back. Forbidden Door in London.
Or Forbidden Door in Japan, that would be fire. Especially with Noah over there and Darby and Sting just going over to Noah with Great Muta. That's another one. Could we see the Great Muta show up at the Rumble for one last appearance? I mean, Jushin Liger showed up at NXT a few years back. So could we see either him as the Great Muta or his non-Great Muta persona? That's one thing I think that'd be cool for him to kind of hit all, New Japan, AEW, WBE. Like, what a way to go out for one of the legends of the business. He started in WCW in the Americas when he came here. That would be, no pun intended, that would be full circle.
It really would be.
And I think, to get to who we think is going to win the Rumble, I agree. I mean, the survey has at like 40% right now. Adrenaline in my soul. The winner of the Rumble is Cody Rhodes. I just think it's funny. As soon as he got injured, ask Emily what I said at the Hell in 7 getting injured. I'm like, oh, he'll be back in time for the Rumble to win it. It's going to be Triple H 2002.
I thought this was already news. Like, I thought it was already announced that he was coming back because Mongo said it so much. I was like, yeah, the guy's coming back at Royal Rumble. Like, duh, he's coming back. It's everywhere. No, it was just in my house.
And it's just because it's... And I know Jamal, I know you're, and Jeff, and Hillary, I know you guys watch. Tell me this is not Triple H 2002 vibes. All the promo package needed was that shitty U2 song, It's a Beautiful Day! Like, that's all we're missing from his, like, build-up packages. And I think that he's going to win. And if he doesn't win, like Jamal said earlier, if he wins, I think people could turn because they want Sammy. Or if he wins, and who knows what happens. Like, who knows if he wins, what happens. See, that's what you thought too. See, Jamal, you get it. It's just, it's that history repeating itself, that storyline. Hillary says she predicts Cody. Hey, I'm not alone with Freya. Hillary's on my side. Um, I think it's great. I'm excited. I think, and again, we could be swerved. None of this could come true. I mean, we're just spitballing, shooting the shit here. But the Rumble, you could think all these things. I remember in 2020, I was like, Edge is coming back. Edge is coming back. Edge is coming back, and he did. But I remember telling Emily, maybe Saraya is back this year. Maybe Paige is back for this run. And it didn't happen because sometimes you just fall for those little breadcrumbs on the internet. Jamal, oh, Emily Ward just getting in. Jay White. I think he's coming in the Rumble, Emily. I think he's coming back. Jamal says that Triple H is one of Cody's favorites, which is really funny to me because I kind of went back and was watching some older stuff this week, and so was my buddy Ken. A lot of matches that Triple H had with Cody, he went really over the top and kind of buried him without trying to bury him. Like in 2009 against Legacy, DX came out in a freaking tank and fireworks, and Legacy just kind of strolls out. And my buddy Kenny's like, "God, you guys, who's winning this match?" But I think Cody wants to emulate Triple H, which is not a bad thing because he was kind of like the Triple H of AEW.
There's worse people to emulate.
And then Jeff says, hopefully they swerve us and Cody. He gets runner-up. I do agree. The return package was similar. I could see that too. I could see if The Rock shows up, I could see The Rock winning and the entire town booing The Rock. I mean, I could see some random person that we haven't talked about. You have Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. I can see Sheamus getting his second Rumble win. Drew McIntyre getting his second Rumble win.
The Miz.
I don't know if I see the Miz thing. I think
because you've got Dexter Lumis. He's probably around somewhere doing something silly.
I could see. I mean, I know it's not going to be Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, because they've been teasing that match is going to happen. So I think Brock Lesnar is going to start dominating again, or like you said earlier, Lashley could dominate.
Lashley is,
and they're going to throw each other out.
Yeah,
set for Mania.
To have multiple eliminations at once, and then Brock will come out. They'll fight, and then the next person will come out, and they'll all three go at it, and then eventually they'll get slammed out. Because the big guys usually tussle together, and then someone smaller comes over and just bloop.
Yes, they should have played the Who's Behind Blue Eyes. That they missed the mark. They could have even done the Limp Bizkit remake, which I don't know what your thoughts on the Limp Bizkit remake are, but they played such a weird generic song. Like, come on, you licensed U2 for Triple H. No, that would have been a solid choice because that song hits hard, and I had a very emotional response to that song, so I would have marked out for that song. I also kind of almost have the Cody too. You can't really tell, but I have a birthmark.
Don't show that.
I joked around
that. They gotta pay for this.
I joked around that I was basically like, Cody my
coming
birthmark.
Soon.
Ew. So when I saw Cody come out with his torn pec, I'm like, oh, that looks brutal. And then I said, wait a minute. My birthmark looks the exact same. I have a Port Weinstein birthmark on my chest. I'm like, that looks like the exact same as my birthmark. I'm like, that's super awkward. But his is injury related. Mine's just because I was born with it. But I don't know. I think
maybe it's Maybelline.
I think Cody should get the rub here. You and Cody are matching. I know, Jamal, if I was in a lot better shape, maybe for Cruise 5, I can cosplay as Cody from Hell in the Cell.
You know what? We'll get the neck tattoo going and everything.
Not real, though, right?
You can order them.
Thank God. No, I really think that Cody should get the rub. I mean, this whole return story arc makes sense that he returned to last year's WrestleMania, and if he main events this year's WrestleMania.
So you've got like Ricochet coming out. Do you guys think there's going to be a big spot? Oh, yeah, Rampage. I can put it on my phone.
No, I know. I don't know which. I think Kofi gets his Mr. Kofi spot. He's Mr. Royal Rumble. I can't wait to see what he does. I think that we get some fun. I think Austin Theory, again, if John Cena comes back, gets eliminated by John Cena. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the Rumble. I mean, do you guys have any out-of-the-wall predictions that maybe we haven't said? Because I feel like we've said them all, including you, Jamal. I didn't mean to rhyme that. I just think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's the Big Four is kind of what makes me want to keep watching WWE's these 4 pay-per-views. F says Kofi needs to definitely do one of his signature spots. I agree. I absolutely love when Kofi did the chair and he was like pogo sticking the chair, or when he got caught by the, what do you call them, the rosebuds? That was a good one.
The pancakes.
Jim says Pat McAfee returns. Yeah, where the heck's he been? College football's over. I like Wade Barrett, but nothing beats Pat McAfee. Unless it's Wade Barrett coming in the Rumble and fighting Pat McAfee. And they set up Pat McAfee, Wade Barrett at WrestleMania.
True.
Because Wade Barrett needs a return match. How great would it be? Pat McAfee, who's already shown he can have fun, go in the ring against Wade Barrett. I'm afraid I got some bad news. I think that'd be fun. They need that fun match. We had Johnny Knoxville last year. His figure's hilarious, by the way, if you haven't seen it.
I wish I came with a whole package. I need that giant rat trap.
And you hate mice.
I know, but I want that giant mouse trap. I guess we could just buy
You won't
a
even watch
regular
Stuart
one.
Little.
It's gross. I don't do mice, guys. It's bad. I got some stories. Just ask me about my stories of mice, and I will tell you. It is.
When we went on the Walking Dead cruise, you didn't like they made you a little mouse out of a towel.
I couldn't escape them. We have 3 cats for a reason.
Yes, Chef, I agree. I would mark out so hard for Pat versus Wade. That'd be so fun. So those are pretty much our Royal Rumble predictions. I don't think of anything else like Rumble. I mean, again, I think we're going to see some of those surprises. I think we're going to see some fun matches. Again, I don't really know what to expect with the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Still recording.
Oops.
Emily's just dropping stuff. It's okay, guys.
Sorry. Okay.
So probably on that note, I think we're going to sign off so we don't have this go too long for the audio version, which will drop tomorrow morning. So if you guys have any other thoughts, definitely let us know. We thank everyone for tuning in. This was great. We were hoping to have some interaction on the live. So we'll definitely do more of these because I had fun interacting. Can't wait to see everyone on the cruise. I know we're all cruises here, so this is great. We get to see you guys in a couple days. Emily and I only have one more work day each until we're on vacation. So we'll definitely see you very soon. Jamal, Jeff, Hillary, Emily. We can't wait to see you guys. Can't wait to go over what we think is going to happen on the cruise and the cruise tournament. Maybe you guys can do some sound clips. Jeff, got to get you on the show sometime. We've been talking. So
maybe in the hotel.
That's what I'm saying. You know, we got some cool equipment that we can do some different things with podcasting. So we're super excited. Appreciate all the support. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I know Rampage is on. You tuned in during SmackDown. We can't wait to see you guys. Wait to see you guys. Cam's come back for the first time in 3 years. He's excited.
And we're road tripping down the 31st. So if you guys are bored in the hotel room or you're also traveling the 31st, we're going to just do a bunch of fun stuff on the way down. We're going to pop on live, do some trivia together. We got to stay awake. We're probably leaving around like 10 o'clock at night. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there'll be some like Facebook lives or TikTok lives and vlogs and other stuff to keep us entertained. Exactly. Except don't follow us back to the hotel room because I might need a shower to be in the car that long. I'm just joking. But appreciate see everyone soon. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope everyone enjoys the Royal Rumble. I hope that some of the predictions that we've talked about come true. I hope some don't, just if you don't like them. But enjoy the Rumble and safe travels down to the cruise, everyone. We'll see everybody in Miami in a few days. Can't wait to give everybody some high fives, some hugs. Cam can't wait to see everybody. Jamal can't wait to see you as Orange Cassidy again. I'm looking forward to it. Everyone have safe travels. We miss you guys. See you guys soon.